Gary.
For me, the important thing is organizing the community. One of the problems we have is that we can't organize a community without the community being educated. And that's one of the things I like to address, education of the community in terms of politics. I mean, in 2 weeks, there's an election going on, and I think the majority of people in our community don't even know that that election is going on. That's problematic, and it's more problematic for me that they don't know about this election than even the mayoral election, because we already know the outcome of the mayoral election. But this election determines how that election is going to be, how it's going to be run, who's going to get to run it, how all of the elections in this city are run, and who's going to get to run them. A lot of us don't even know that. That's something that is critical for us to know. In order for us to talk about taking over the city, talk about having any power. Power is not necessarily a four-letter word, but it is something that we need, and we have to understand how to use the power. But in order for us to do any of those things, we have to understand the importance of that election, and we don't. That election is run by the same people who we are trying to get out of office. You cannot operate a city that way. It doesn't matter if you have 40, 50, 60, 70% of the vote, you will have no say as to what's going on in the city. Another thing I would like to remind everybody is that this is about Black history. Something that's important to me right now is that we talk about the spirit of the movement that came before many of the people in this audience were born. A lot of the women in the movement have left us in the last year. You have Constance Baker Motley, you have Rosa Parks, you have Coretta Scott King, you have Shirley Chisholm, and on and on. A lot of the women, and the women make the spirit of the movement. The guys, we might talk about the guys, we might talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Medgar, and on and on and on. But the women have left us. We need to find a place where we can have that spirit redeveloped. And I was at a discussion the other day, and they were talking about the young people being the prophets of the movement. But as I look around, I don't see a lot of young people involved. I see young people that come to things like this and they fall asleep because they're not interested. And part of the reason that is that when they come to these things, they only come because their parents force them to. If we're going to talk about the community, we need to start to act as a community and teach our children a lot of the things that people in other communities actually teach their children. Teach them about politics, teach them about the importance of paying attention to what's going on. So when they come here, they actually have an interest. We need to have groups where we don't have youth as just a portion of the group so that we can have some kind of publicity about the youth portion. We need to have groups where we groom those young people to become leaders at a future date. Too many of our organizations only have people who are young so that we can say we have those people. And those are some of the issues, and of course there are plenty of others that I want to talk about.